Ford Explorer was equipped with the choice of two petrol engines, 4L Cologne V6, 210 horsepower, and 4.6L Triton V8, 295 horsepower. There are no turbines and other technological gadgets in them, but there is a solid resource of work and an enviable appetite. If the V6 is ready to use 17 liters of gasoline per 100 kilometers in the city and 12 liters on the highway, then the V8 will require about 20% more fuel. As a consolation bonus, the power units are able to eat the AI in 92. The most common problem for owners of an American SUV was the uneven operation of the engine, the so-called triple. The cause of this phenomenon may be ignition coils, candles, high-voltage wires. Less often, the firmware of the control unit was the culprit. The biggest problem was the V8 engine. Not only did the exhaust manifold gaskets burn out quite often, but it is not uncommon for the fastening studs of this exhaust gas outlet to be cut off. Like many modern cars, the Ford Explorer had catalytic converter problems. Such questions were solved radically, either by replacing the assembly with a new one, or by removing it and installing flame arresters. Particular attention should be paid to monitoring the temperature of the coolant, since radiator leaks with runs of 80,000 kilometers or more are a common phenomenon. In general, the picture of the reliability of the motors is quite rosy. Instances that have traveled 250 to 350,000 kilometers without significant problems are not at all rare. Considerable merit in this belongs to the timing chain drive. Transmission. For each motor, its own gearbox was offered. So, the V6 was equipped with a 5-speed automatic transmission 5 or 55W, and the V8 was equipped with a 6-band 6 or 60. Both machine guns were marked by blows when shifting gears, releasing gas, and braking. Oddly enough, the presented units had not only identical problems, but also methods for their elimination, which boiled down to changing the oil and flashing the control unit. And only rare specimens required more serious intervention. In terms of transmission, the front axle gearbox also distinguished itself. Firstly, after severe frosts, oil leaks often appeared through the drive seals, and secondly, due to loosely tightened bolts securing the housing of this gearbox, shocks often appeared when the all-wheel drive was connected. It is worth noting that problems with oil seals are also characteristic of the rear axle. The 3-mode transfer case did not cause any systematic complaints. Suspension. The Ford Explorer's suspension is fully independent and American-tuned. That is, it is quite comfortable, long-stroke, energy-intensive, and also prone to build up in excessive rolls and corners. Its resource, by today's standards, is very good. So, shock absorbers become unusable only after overcoming the 100,000th run, and ball bearings and front wheel bearings surrender a little earlier, by 80,000 kilometers. However, it should be borne in mind that the latter are changed in assembly with the hub. The silent blocks of the levers live indefinitely and only the stabilizer struts cannot withstand even 40,000 kilometers, and cases of their breakage are not uncommon. A remarkable fact is that in place of the front links, those from the domestic Sable are suitable, and in place of the rear ones, from GAZ24. Brake system. The braking system, like the suspension, does not have outstanding performance, but is ready to last for a long time. As a rule, pads receive critical wear not earlier than the 80,000th milestone, and discs, 100,000 ths. Steering. Steering may require intervention to 80,000 kilometers. At the same time, the power steering may begin to make unpleasant sounds a little earlier. But such symptoms often appeared only in cold weather and were eliminated by replacing the working fluid. Electrician. In terms of electrics, the Ford Explorer proved to be quite predictable. It did not present serious troubles, but it provided a major overhaul with minor breakdowns. Among the most common problems, it is worth noting the sticking of the airbag indicator in cold weather, burnout bulbs in the instrument panel, and often the rear window heating contact that comes off. Separately, it is worth mentioning the rear lights, which are excessively susceptible to deformation from heating by light elements. Such an ailment was treated by installing LEDs. Body. In terms of corrosion resistance, the car performed more than well. If you can find rust on the body, then most likely this instance has been in an accident. The only complaint about the body can serve as a peeling chrome on the grille. But again, this phenomenon is not widespread. Outcome. The question of buying a 4th-generation Ford Explorer lies more in the ideological plane than in the plane of cold calculation. If you want a real American SUV with a large naturally aspirated engine, a massive frame at the base, a roll, but an energy-intensive suspension, then you have practically no choice. Moreover, a well-chosen copy with proper care will not cause serious trouble to its owner.